welcome to the review show. My name's Austin. Iron Man 2 is starring Robert Downey Jr. and this is the continuation of our Marvel series that we are doing every once a week. Every Friday you guys will be getting a Marvel movie, and now we're on Iron Man 2. We're almost done with phase 1 of the Marvel series. This has been fun. You guys have been enjoying it. Let's continue on with Iron Man 2. In my opinion, Iron Man 2 is actually my least favorite Iron Man movie. I really don't like, I could talk about the villain, and basically the villain sucks. The villain in this movie has really no motive that much. I mean, he's trying to prove a point, which I can buy because it comes back later on. There's a line in this movie that Ivan, that's the villain name, and that Ivan says that if you can prove that God bleeds, then you can make people stop following him or stop believing in him or that type of way. And so, but I mean that's a cool line. I like that line, but I just don't get the motive behind why he hates Tony Stark. From what I've watched, I think Ivan's father, worked for Tony Stark, or had the same ideas as Tony Stark. It made no sense to me. So I don't know. But at the same time, all Marvel villains didn't really have a great motive at this time period. Because there was even one part, there's technically another villain in this movie, and this villain's another rich guy, and and he hates Tony Stark really much, and so he hires Ivan to take out Tony or make Iron Man suits, and so I'm like okay, whatever. So but. Yeah, I mean, there's other problems with this movie, is that there's not enough Iron Man. The main issue, the main plot point in this movie is Tony Stark trying to find a cure for his disease. The little chest plate that's inside his chest is killing him. So, that's the plot of this movie. I mean, I'm fine with that plot. That plot makes sense. And there's also an addition to that plot with the government trying to take his suits. I mean, that's fine. I like it, but at least give us a little bit of Iron Man, not him being drunk and shooting off watermelons. Doesn't really add that much besides to Tony Stark's ego. I mean, that's the one thing I like about all of these Iron Man movies. Every single Iron Man movie is about Tony Stark's ego. But the problem with that, at every end of every Iron Man movie, his ego has changed. But at the beginning of another Iron Man movie, his ego is just bigger than before. And so it's wait, but you've proven yourself that you can control your ego, but then you let your ego get the best of you in the next movie. So it makes kind of no sense for his character, why he's back in the same stage that he was in the last movie. I mean, and we get awesome characters. We get to see Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow for the first time, and ever since people wanted to see a Black Widow movie, and finally we're getting it. Well, hopefully, hopefully that we get it this year. So yeah, she's awesome. She does badass things in this movie. I freaking love it. We see Nick Fury once again after the post-credit scene. We see him a little bit part in the middle of the movie, and next we see him a little at the end. War Machine got recast with Don Chadley. I think that's how you say his name. I like him as War Machine. The last actor, I don't know. I mean, we didn't really get to see him as War Machine. We got to see him a little bit as War Machine here, so that's why I like him a little bit more than the other guy, because we didn't really get to see him as War Machine. We mostly got to see him as, not War Machine. It surprised me in every Marvel movie. It just gets, the special effects look even better than before. And besides Hulk, that's a different story. But like even like the suits, the suits get better in every Iron Man movie, and I like I like every suit in every Iron Man movie. I just really wish that I got to see a little bit more Iron Man. Like we do get sprinkles of Iron Man. Like there's one part we get to see Iron Man at the beginning. We get to see Iron Man in a race. We get to see Iron Man and next at the end, like him wearing the suit. Tony Stark himself wearing the suit. Once again, Robert Downey Jr. just does a great job as Tony and Iron Man. I mean, like, I like this guy. And before I even knew that this guy was doing, drugs, cocaine, and all that, I liked him as an actor. I think he did a great job in, like, all of the movies before that. And so, and actually hearing about him doing all that stuff before he changed his life kind of changed my opinion about him a little bit. But, I like him as Iron Man. Like, nothing's gonna change, and that's what these Marvel movies get right, is the casting choices. Action's great. I really like the dynamic between Rhodey and Tony Stark when they first technically have their 1v1 situation after Tony Stark is drunk after his birthday party. I mean, that's cool. That was funny, and like they kind of learn off their lessons in these movies. Like, because during that fight they what do you call it? They beam each other, and like it starts creating this big bubble, and it explodes. I don't know science words. Leave me alone. And next they use that same like strategy against Vaughn. It's not Vaughn. Ivan. And so like it's. I mean, there's clever stuff here, but there's just not enough Iron Man. I wanted more. Like, if they could have gave a reason why he couldn't be Iron Man in this movie, that's fine. But you set up plots about the government coming in and taking his suit, and you really don't go anywhere. I mean, like, they technically do, but I would have liked to see a freaking tank just show up in front of Tony Stark's house, and the army just swabbing his freaking house to just take these suits. It's nice to see Rhodey to come in and try to convince him to just stop and give up the suits, but I think it would have been better if the army just came in and just swarmed the house, and Iron Man was just, I guess that wouldn't been right for Iron Man to do, just to take on the army. But I mean, like, at least like have the army do something, have the army have stun beams or something, like, just something to protect Pepper and him, and he can fly away, and he becomes a fugitive. And next, the way that he doesn't become a fugitive is by saving people from Ivan, because Ivan turns evil at the end. Well, I mean, he was always evil, but I mean, like, he makes these suits, and he is able to control them, and he starts firing it on people. And so, like you could have done so much more with this movie. And even Ivan himself is a worse villain than the villain before. He's worse than the Hulk villain, and he's worse than the one, I don't remember the villain's name in Iron Man. I could care less about him. but like, he's worse than those two villains, because this guy, he could have recreated the reactor that's in Tony Stark and made it into his own. The guy in the first film couldn't even do that. And like, there's scientists that get paid to make shit like that, and they couldn't do it. But some guy and somewhere that is not Tony. If that's the thing I don't buy. Some guy that's smarter than Tony, because Tony is supposed to be this like smart, like, science guy. Like, if they could have set up that this guy was really smart, then I would have bought it. But at the beginning of this movie, he just rebuilt the reactor. But I guess it also took 6 months. But we don't even know how it was 3 months for Tony to make his. So I think it was 3 months or 6 months. So I guess it took the same amount of time. Let's say it took the same amount of time. I still don't buy it. I really still don't buy this guy that has nothing, that has no money, somehow built a reactor. And the difference between him and Tony, one, Tony is just really smart, and Tony kind of had the technology to do it. He used his own technology to build the reactor. This guy, what did he have? He had blueprints and a box of scrap. I mean, Tony did have a box of scrap, but it's not the same box of scrap. The design is cool. He basically has a lasso and all of that. He, you know, Grievous's lasso. I mean, like, it's a cool design, but you know, you could have set up a little bit more for me to buy this villain that could able to make a copy of Tony Stark's design. If a scientist couldn't do that, I don't think this guy would have been able to. But yeah, there's this that's basically my thoughts on Iron Man 2. It's not the worst film. It still has that charisma. It's still funny. It's still enjoyable, and the action is good. I'm gonna give Iron Man 2 a B+. It's definitely my least favorite Iron Man movie. I definitely like Iron Man more than this one. I definitely like Iron Man 3 more than this one. And people are gonna probably question, why do you like Iron Man 3? It's mostly the same movie. We'll get into why and when we get around to that movie. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully that you guys are enjoying our Infinity Saga series that we are doing. And so next week we will be talking about Thor, which is actually technically taking place at the same time as Iron Man 2. And so I can't wait to talk about that one. That one's going to be a whole lot of fun. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. And like always, I'll see you guys next review. Bye, guys.